And ladies and gentlemen, I'm speaking to Vincent Pastore. Hello, Vin. How you doing?
Hi, Glenn. How you doing?
All right, pretty good. Just looking at the stuff you're doing, and oh my God, Staten Island Summer.
With the cast of Saturday Night Live, and it's on Netflix, and it's very funny.
Oh, okay, yeah, and that's Lorne Michaels.
Yeah,
Is
yeah, he
it?
produced it,
Yeah, he
right?
produced. Wow, that's great. Which I was surprised. You do a lot of Broadway.
Yeah, I do a lot of theater. It kind of kicked in when I did Chicago with Aida Turturro, and then I did Bullets Over Broadway, Woody Allen's play,
Yes.
uh, and then I just knocked off an off-Broadway show called Queen for a Day with David Proval from The Sopranos.
Bullets Over Broadway. Woody Allen, big stuff there, man.
Bullets Over Broadway, yeah. I worked on that for a total of 2 years. What
Wow.
happens? Yeah, is you go in, you audition again. Really, all in all, I was working with Woody for over 2 years.
Wow, that must have been an
Yeah,
experience because
yeah,
he's.
he was great to work with. Wow, he was good to us. I mean, he wrote this, and he would come in every rehearsal with a little yellow pad and jot down ideas while we were in rehearsal and while we were doing previews and hand them to our director, Susan Stroman, and we'd come in the next day and we get notes and we would change lines and jokes and stuff up until opening night.
Wow.
And that's Woody. Yeah, he would say, "Okay, say this tonight. Nobody laughed last night at this, so say this tonight." And you're looking at each other. How am I going to learn this? But that's Woody. And there's a method to his madness.
Right. I just wanted to read this to you too, which I was surprised. Well, not surprised, but Lady Gazan, John Hurd, Lloyd Bridges, Alan Arkin, Talia Shire. Just to mention a few, you've worked with them all.
Loved working with Talia. I met her in Guatemala doing a movie with Ben Gazzara called Looking for Paladin, and we became good friends. And then I did another movie with her and Mike called Pizza with Bullets.
Right.
Mike Marino. We did that in L.A. And I'm a good friend with her now. I mean, I could ring her doorbell in L.A. and stay at the house. That's
Yeah, I'll
what
tell
happened with me and Talia. She's a
you.
sweetheart. But I see her brother,
It's a nice.
Francis. She's got a great career.
No.
I don't want to be in the house when Francis comes over.
And then you went later to go see Mission Impossible. Was it worth it?
Yeah, Cruz was there.
Oh,
He
was he?
introduced the movie. Yeah, he
Oh,
was there. He
wow.
was he was great. Everybody from Paramount was there. It was an IMAX. I like to do these things. I like to go to the premieres, and
That's
the
also good
perks
for.
of being me. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's also good for networking, right? I mean, people see you and then.
Yeah, I wasn't in the movie, not like Staten Island Summer, where
Right.
the party's about you. In this case, it's Paramount Pictures. They still want me to do a photo shoot. I met Cruz. I said hello to Tom, and that was cool.
Yeah.
I'm running around with my band now. We start August 7th. I
Yes,
put a band together.
that was my next question. Is the
Yeah,
Gangster Squad? And now, am I going to say this right here? You're August 7th in Peekskill.
in Peekskill, New York, and
Right.
then August. That's at the Hudson Room, and then August 13th at the Meadowlands at the racetrack at the Victory Bar, and then I go down to Asbury on the 19th, and then I'm back in Point Pleasant again September 5th. So I'm down in that area with the band. We're doing Goshen Racetrack over the summer, doing resorts in Queens. So what happened with that is that I was a club owner between 1980 and 85, and I had great musicians coming in, and they were kids at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I have musicians that played in my room. They're my musicians in my band. I got this guy, Eddie Denise, he plays with Dion. I got Al Orlo, he was playing with Benny King. I got guys that, played in my room back in the 80s, and I called them when I was doing Bullets. I said, I want to put a band together. And I go out and I do 5, 6 songs, and everybody else in the band sings. And so we're able to do a couple of sets
But
and
that's
have some
great.
fun.
That's
Yeah,
great. I mean, especially
yeah.
see you do it.
What's
Yeah.
happening now is we used to do a lot of meet and greets when The Sopranos was hot. We were
Right.
down in your neighborhood all the time. My dear friend, the late Joe Sarnes, used to bring me down to Bally's, used to bring me to the Hilton. Yeah, they don't have that in their budget.
Right.
What I decided to do with the band is, okay, you get a meet and greet with me, and then you get my band, and that's beginning to work. and that's what I'm doing at resorts so far. And there's a tentative booking in February at the Staten Island Hilton. And we go in, and you meet me and my musicians, and then we perform. And it turns out to be a big event, like the old days we used to do down in Atlantic City.
Great.
You know?
Well, listen, the last time I heard you sing was Broccoli Wad. Do you remember that commercial?
Yeah, that product bombed.
Yeah.
The guy went on Shark Tale with me, and he
Oh, jeez.
and he says, "So yeah, we'll do this, bar, but we'll take the $50,000." And we walked out, and I never forget that I was staying in Venice Beach, and I'm walking down the boardwalk with this guy, and he says, "We're not going to take the deal." I said, "What are you, nuts? You just said on national television you're going to take a $50,000. You're not taking it now." He says, "Nah." And I said, "You just buried yourself." And I don't know what happened to those things. Hey, you know, I mean, I had cigars that ran for about a year. I don't know what happened to those guys.
Yeah.
It's funny. I mean, I when you think about it, you said I got a busy schedule. What I've been doing, fixing the house up.
Are you physically doing it, or you got? I'm sure.
Well,
you got
me
people.
and my friend. Yeah.
You are
physically. Today.
Oh God,
Yeah.
God bless you.
Oh
See
yeah,
that?
no.
Do that too.
I get up early and I do my thing. I'm a homeowner. I'm like everybody else out there.
Yeah.
And I also, I mean, I went public with this, and I don't mind talking about it. That I had prostate cancer.
Oh.
And yeah, I wind up getting that. Like a couple days after Woody Allen gave me the job.
Wow.
And like I said, it was a 2-year process. And I went to my doctor and I said, I don't know what I got to do, but I'm doing Broadway. And what happened is that I made it. I made it to open a night. I made it to the Tonys. I made it to close the night. I didn't miss a show. But I go public about it because I'm getting older, and I say to myself, and I really mean this, you got to appreciate every day.
No, you're right. You're right.
So, like when you're calling me up and you say, let's do this interview, and I know I'm going to go downtown and go to a premiere, I mean, Mission Impossible, or go to my own premiere, and I want to enjoy this.
Oh, absolutely.
I want to enjoy this.
Yes. Yeah. But you got a lot left. Let's not end it yet.
You don't know when you're going to go. You don't know if you're going to be crossing the street or if you're going to be in a movie theater. It's insane.
Yes. Yeah.
And so you say, well, what's important to me? My family. What's important to me? The people we love. Is my work important? Yeah, your work's important. Because that's what you did.
Right. That's what you'll be remembered.
Jimmy, I say this to everybody. Jimmy's bigger in death than he was in life.
How about that?
I mean, he was big, Tony Soprano.
Right.
And he did a lot of other roles. In fact, they just aired on HBO The Drop, which is a wonderful film. That was his last film. People become bigger in death than they are in life.
Yeah, and that was.
What you need to do is you need to be able to pass on a legacy to your grandchildren, so they say, that's Grandpa. Like my granddaughter, she lives down in Washington. She's starting to grow up. She's starting to figure out, like when I go down there and I'm sitting at an outdoor cafe and people come up and they want to take a picture, I think she's starting to figure this all out.
Yeah.
And my daughter, Renee, won't let her watch any of my movies yet, not even Shark Tale. She said it's too violent, which is an animated movie. As she gets older, she realizes who Grandpa is.
Yes.
And this is what it's all about.
We'll be right back. And we are back with Vincent Pastore. I want to keep bringing up Sopranos because that's something you did before.
No. But see, that's the thing.
Okay.
That's the thing.
That's such
Sopranos
a great... But what
is history, television history.
Exactly.
We didn't know that when we were doing this.
But you know what's funny?
We didn't know how big it was going to be.
Tony Soprano, you think would be the number one star there, but you played such a big role on that I think you were even Steven with Jimmy with that.
Well, I'm really happy that you said that, because when you talk about legacies and what you did in your life, I mean,
it's such a great role though, because if you say any character on that show, it all comes back to you.
I'm going to tell you a story. It was between season 1 and season 2. And what happened is we would go to work and we would film all the episodes, like what they do on HBO,
right,
and then release them. Not like regular television where the shows are being aired and the guys are working still. So season 1 ran, and it was in the summertime. It was right about now. and David Chase called me up. And when David calls you up, it's usually bad news. And he said, I got good news and bad news. He said, you blew up all over the internet. Everybody wants to know where's Pussy.
Mm-hmm.
Because I took off when they thought I was a rat.
Right.
He said, so I'll tell you what we're going to do. We didn't write the second season yet because they didn't know they were going 2 years, even though they signed up for 7. And we're going to feature you a lot, but it's going to be your last year. And I'm saying to myself, but you signed me a contract for 7 years. But I didn't say nothing to David, you know.
Right.
I signed a contract for 7 years. He said, it's going to be a good year for you. He said, but that's it. I says, okay, David, whatever you do, give me the football. I'm going to make a touchdown. And he said, but I promise I'm going to bring you back as a ghost. But little did I know when he made that conversation, when he made that phone call to me, that I would become television history. And that's what happened.
And that's
because
beautiful.
He did write that whole second season about me and about Richie, David Preval.
Right.
And that's what it was all about, that whole second season. And when you watch it, you say, oh, it's either about this guy or the other guy.
Yeah, and it's a heck of a role. And when I tell people you're going to be on my show, it's an immediate response. I mean, immediate response.
Well,
even the women, even women come up.
Oh, women love it. I don't want to get graphic, but that's why I love to go down to Asbury, because I got great memories in Asbury. We shot a lot of episodes that I was in down there, and we shot the last episode of season 2 was called Funhouse because of the Funhouse.
Right.
In Asbury, and that's why I like to go to Asbury. We shot it in the convention center and everything with the talking fish. So when I go to the Wonder Ball, when I go to the Pony, when I go to Paramount for Light of Day, I know that I've been there before. As you know, we stayed at the Berkeley, and we had great times. And when to go back at the beginning of the conversation we have, this is the legacy. This is what you have, and you want to appreciate it.
Let me ask you a question too. How old were you when you got into this?
No, I was 42 years old.
You were 42 when you started.
Yeah.
What I understood now, I don't know. I don't believe everything I read. Had something to do with Matt Dillon, the Dillon brothers.
Yeah, Matty. I see Matty and Kevin.
Right.
And they're humble, but
they had
it's one of those stories. It's almost like a Lana Turner story where she was sitting. They say she was sitting in a coffee shop and got discovered. Matty and Kevin and Paul, the 3 brothers, used to come to my bars. I had over the time these guys were coming in, which was about 8 years. They came to one bar and then they came to another bar that I used to run and own.
Okay.
And there were many nights. All these guys don't drink anymore.
All right.
But back then, when they were younger, they were drinkers. And there were many nights I would take them home from New Rochelle to Mamaroneck. And I became like Uncle Vinny to these kids.
Ah, okay.
And then one day I was sitting at my last bar. It was like the Alamo to me. I couldn't do it anymore, but I wouldn't give up. I had rock and roll clubs, and me and Maddie and Kevin were watching television, and I said, I want to be an actor. And I thought he was going to say, yeah, you and everybody else out there. And that's not what he said. He said, because we watch a Pope of Greenwich Village on my television.
Right.
And he said, you could be like that guy. And he pointed to Frank Vincent. And I wind up doing 11 projects with Frank.
Oh, how about that?
And Frank became a very close friend of mine. So it was almost like Matt changed my life. He said, you could be like that guy.
We have to take a station break. Hey, Vince, we're back. And then you did a soap opera, right?
I did a lot of things. I did One Life to Live. I did General Hospital.
Right.
I did Another World. I did everything. I did America's Most Wanted. I did extra work.
That's what I'm saying. You
did everything.
You did more than a lot of people who were half your age. You just got so much work, because when I look at of course we do research, and we're researching it, and there's nothing that you haven't done, Vincent. It's incredible.
Oh,
don't take it for granted.
I kind of respect. I became friends with Jerry Lewis through the Friars Club.
Oh, wow.
I love Jerry, and I became good friends with Jerry. He came to see Bullets, and now he's the new Abbott, and his son Chris Lewis always brings me around when Dad's in town. And Jerry, he fools around, and he calls me garlic breath. And he keeps saying to me, Dean would have loved you, And I'm friends with Dina Martin.
Dina Martin's going to do our show.
She's a sweetheart. She's a sweetheart. Her and her husband, good people. But Jerry said to me, Dean would have loved you. And then I ran into Dina because I did Steubenville. I was a Grand Marshal of Steubenville one night when I was doing Bullets. Liza came to the show, Liza Minnelli. And these people, Jerry and Liza, they would come on stage, Chaz Palminteri, after the show and hang out with the cast. It was part of the whole ritual when you do Broadway. Yeah, because I know when I went to see Sting, I went on stage, and I'm on stage talking to Sting after the show. That's part of being who you are, and you're able to do that.
That's got to be a hoot. That's
so cool. So anyway, Liza comes on the stage, and I had to say to her, said, I loved your father's movie, Some Came Running. Her father was Vincent Minnelli.
Yes.
And that's my favorite all-time Sinatra, Dean Martin movie with Shirley MacLaine. And I said, I love your father's movie, Some Came Running. And she said, wasn't that a masterpiece? And we were talking. That night, it was Friars Club night. We all went to the Friars Club, and we went into the Sinatra room. We would have our drinks. And all of a sudden, I looked up. I was sitting at a table, and over my head was a picture of Frank, Dean, and Shirley at the Academy Awards for Some Came Running. And that's how trippy this all is. My sister says to me, Vinny, you're in a good place in your life. Just go enjoy it. So when my phone rings, and like last week, last week I was home. The phone rang. My dear friend Chuck Zito called me up. Says, I'm doing this project, and we just lost an actor. Can you get out here tomorrow? I said, yeah, I'll be out.
Yeah.
I'll be out there. And I wound up, I didn't know, I wound up doing a scene with Eric Roberts and Larry Romano.
Oh, wow.
So you don't know?
That's the hoot. Want to mention something?
Right now?
Did we talk about it? There was something.
What am I doing now? I'm on a midsummer tour with my band. I have 15 gigs booked between August 7th and September.
Right.
I'm doing 9/11.
Vin, now they can get this on your website.
Yeah,
I know you have a website too, right? All right, they get all the information.
But the thing is, my agent calls me and says, "You want to do a movie?" And I said, "My band's playing." He says, "Oh, okay." Now he don't want to hear that.
Yeah, because that's where
But all of a sudden, like when I was doing Diamond, Queen for a Day. And we have understudies. I flew out to L.A. for 2 days to the Yucca Valley, and I did a movie with Tom Sizemore.
Oh, no kidding.
And then I came home. So you don't know in this business where you're going to be next. I mean, I was supposed to go to Atlantic City last week down to the Tropicana.
Are you doing the cutting room?
Yeah, the cutting room's our home in New York, yeah.
Because
I'll be there September 15th. That's our home in New York. And actually, I have a theater company with Little Steven and Maureen Van Zant. Maureen and I formed the company, and Steven got involved now.
Right.
And the cutting room is our home for our plays and for Stevie's broadcast in his underground garage from there on Sunday mornings.
Right.
And I'm doing my band there. So the cutting room is, and I was talking to Ryan. I said, I don't want to, he says, what do you want to play again? I said, I don't want to play too much down there. People get tired of seeing you. That's why, if I get a phone call from, somebody like you, so you want to play in Atlantic City, I'm going to say, yeah. And what I do is I call up my Jersey guys from Asbury, and I put that's why I call it the Gangster Squad.
I got you.
You don't know who's going to be in the band. Eddie Testa sometimes shows up, Killer Joe. Guys from Southside show up with us. You
got to get Bruce Springsteen to play.
You don't know where he's going to pop up.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, that's you said, that's the business, right?
You don't know where he's going to pop up. Surf theater or something.
Right.
So I do work. I'm doing Point Pleasant at the White Sands. So I will be popping up between August and whenever with my band on the Jersey Shore. So just go to my website, look on Facebook, and come and see the band. And if you want to come sing with us, I'll let you come up and sing.
Hey,
you can sing with us.
Oh, yeah.
You can sing with us easy.
Yeah.
You can.
Tell them, yeah.
I said, enjoy yourself. We had Tommy James. He comes to all our gigs. He hasn't come up, and we didn't back him up yet, but we backed up Steve Conti. We backed up a lot of Broadway guys. Tony Danza was at the last gig, the cutting room. He was staying on stage left because everybody was bothering him. And I said, "You going to sing with me?" And he says, no. And I said, well, I'm going to go out and sing a song to you. And I sang Where or When. So we do rock and roll, but we do some standards. I do some Big Joe Turner songs.
We'll be right back. And we are back with Vincent Pastore.
What's the guy from Philadelphia, the Geeter with the heater?
Jerry Blavitt. Yeah, Jerry Blavitt's
on our,
he's on our station. The same station you're going to be on.
I was doing a broadcast with Jerry from the club that he used to do south of AC.
Memories.
Exactly.
Memories in Margate. That's
and
his
club.
It was
live. And I was a little drunk and I cursed and he said, you're going to let me lose I'm going to lose my FCC license.
You shouldn't do live.
Yeah, he's a legend.
But let me tell you something. The man, 70-something years old. I think he's just turned 75.
What they used to call him, the Geeter with the heater?
The Geeter with the heater, the big boss with the big rat. So, yeah.
Still playing records down at his club?
Oh, he's gigantic. He's in every casino there is. He still plays Memories. Memories in Margate is on the weekends. But he does like all the big casinos. He's there with his dance parties. I'll text it to you.
So who else did you know coming out of South Philly? Did you know Joe Sarnes?
Well, see, like...
Did you know Bobby Rydell?
Now, ready to hear this. In my one zip code was Bobby Rydell, Frankie Avalon, Fabian, and James Darren.
I'm doing a movie with Frankie next month.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah.
Yeah, in L.A. Frankie's a trip. Me and Frankie went to the Stallone... De Niro premiere of Grudge Match.
Oh, no kidding.
And me and Frankie walked the red carpet, so Sly turns around. He said, what are you guys dating? And let me tell you something. Frankie looks good for his age.
I know.
What he's doing.
He was from my neighborhood. Actually, in that one zip code.
What has he got? 8 daughters, he told me?
Yeah, he's got 8 kids, and they're all girls.
And he says, come over to the house for meatballs on Sunday.
He's still the old South Philly. He's still old South Philly, yeah.
He's a great guy. And Jimmy Darren, is Jimmy from your area?
Yeah, James Darren's from the area. Bobby Rydell. James Darren's real last name is Ercolani.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And Rydell
I met Jimmy down in New Orleans, and I met, because we go down there once a year for the St. Joseph's Italian Feast.
Wow.
Yeah, and each one of us becomes a Grand Marshal. But plus I had my show, when I had my show on Sirius, we were able to have some great guests. If they went on Cousin Brucey, we would grab them. Wow. And bring them over to us. We had a show called The Wise Guy Show.
And Vin, thanks a lot so much. This means a lot to me. Thanks again.
I'm sorry it was so hard to wind up talking to you, but we wound up having a decent...
Yeah, okay. No, really thanks. And listen, thanks again. And I will text you, let you know when it's going to air.
And you have an open invitation to sing with my band, the Gangster Squad.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I will I will do that.
Okay.
See you, man.
Okay.
Bye-bye, Vin.
Your vocals. Okay, bye.
See you. Bye.
Bye.